overall data, and then each department is creating goals, and we benchmark throughout the year and progress monitor how we're doing to meet those goals as well. So there's always areas of improvement. There will be a change in the Seamaster Assessment this year. This data represents the one thing that draws you to your attention is the 8th grade scores, right? And so what happened in the past is that our 8th graders here at STEM are taking the algebra and the geometry courses, those upper level courses, and those scores are represented in those areas. But our 8th graders this coming year will actually be all taking the 8th grade assessment. So we'll take a look at our data in the fall and make determinations about how our 8th graders are doing compared to other 8th graders, not necessarily compared to 9th and 10th graders as well. Just a little highlight, our science CMAS data from the spring. Sorry if you can't see that very well. The state is in yellow, the district is in red, and STEM is in blue. So we surpassed the district and the state on CMAS science, as well as in social studies. Those are scaled scores in social studies as well. We only take the science CMAS in 5th, 8th, and 11th grade. We take the social studies assessment every 3 years. It's random, and last year we took that in 4th and 7th grade. So it's not something that we measure every year. Finally, these are the overall scores for the SAT, globally, statewide, district-wide, and STEM. So we broke down the math scores are in blue, the red represents the evidence-based reading and writing, and the total score very much so surpasses global and national, state and district standards. And then something we do at STEM is the PSAT 8, 9, and the 10 as well. And so our students are also surpassing globally, district-wide, and statewide as well. So highlights in the future that we're looking forward to seeing our students continue to do so well. AP scores, advanced placement. These are scores that represent 3s, 4s, and 5s on an AP test, which would be an indicator in most colleges and universities. Students get college credit for scoring in those areas. In 2013 and 2014, we had small numbers of students, thus small numbers of AP, but currently in the last few years, last year we had 232 total scores that were 3 or higher on our AP test combined, and then the list of those classes or those courses that students scored 3 and above. So lots to celebrate. Finally, a list of all the AP courses that we offer here at STEM in this year. And then the second column are the concurrent enrollment courses that we offer as well. So they're always changing. We're adding a P-Tech program in the fall, and so we've added some additional CE courses in that focus as well. So lots to celebrate, and we're very proud of our student accomplishments in this area. So the next person that I'd like to introduce is Hannah Reese. She'll be talking about our special programs.
Hello, my name is Hannah Reese. I oversee special programs, which is essentially every student with an acronym or a plan attached to them. So here is overall by the numbers. So you'll see that our Read Act students, which is students who are struggling readers identified in grades K through 3, and then they maintain on a read plan until they're at or above grade level. So if you see the numbers are 9% of our elementary kiddos, but then only 2% of middle school and 0 students in high school. So those students are making the academic gains that they need, and then no longer needing to be on read plans, which is great news. For ELD, which is English language learners, anybody who from a multilingual or bilingual household, you see kind of the same pattern. 4.6% of our K-5 students are on an ELD plan, and as they get older, they test out and exit and are no longer needing those specialized services. For gifted and talented, we have the highest number and percentage of gifted students of any Douglas County school, regardless of the size of the Douglas County school. So there are overall, we have 410 gifted students here at STEM out of 1850, which is just impressive. And then Douglas County has changed how GT operates and actually the state has added new identification areas. So we're currently in the process of IDing a child for potentially theater and another for creative and productive thinking. So it's really nifty to see GTs have the wider opportunities and not just be academic scores anymore. And then for 504s in special education, we offer accommodations as well as specialized support in the domains of social, emotional, and academics. And we average approximately 6% across the school, or across each school for those programs. This slide shows STEM in comparison to other charter schools in Douglas County, and by far and large, our numbers are right in average with the other charter schools serving similar populations to our own. Of course, GT is standing out, and ELD is fascinating because it seems to really vary by region more than by any other factor. So I just personally find that fascinating. This time we want to highlight our social supports that we have here at STEM. We have 8 professionals in 4 domains working with our students. We have a psychologist who works primarily with middle school, 2 social workers, one focusing on elementary, one focusing on high school, 4 counselors, and then a counseling assistant. And this team does more work than I can fathom, even though I work with them every day. And they touch on everything. They do academic programming, they do, hey, you're struggling today with a friend issue, let me help you. Oh, you are not doing as well in this class and you don't want to talk to your teacher, let me help you. It's a moment of crisis, they do crisis prevention and intervention. So if a student is considering self-harm or we have a concern about their safety or the safety of others, this team steps in to help the student and the family keep the student safe. They do emotional support and intervention with whole groups, with small groups, with individual children, all day, every day, and often late into the evenings. I get a fair number of 5 p.m. phone calls going, hey, I just did this, you need to know. And that is these 8 people running that whole system. I also work with MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support. It's a program that exists at every school in Colorado. With whole Tier 1 instruction is helping kids be successful in academics, behaviorally, and social emotional. Tier 2 is typically small group instruction, helping kids get targeted instruction in an area of weakness. And then Tier 3 is a more significant intervention rate prior to moving into, if needed, a 504, an IEP, an ALP, or any of those other acronyms from the prior slides. And then next up, I'm going to introduce Ms. Heather Sherman. She is our K-5 social worker, and she's going to tell you a bit about the school-wide initiatives to protect the mental health of students.
All right, great. So I'm the elementary school social worker, and wanted to talk about some of our universal initiatives that we have school-wide. So this year in the elementary school, we introduced our PBIS STEM Character Tickets reward system due to the gracious efforts of our PTO, which donated everything for us. So when our students represent the STEM character traits, all the teachers and the EAs, everyone gives them a ticket to recognize that, and then weekly we try to reward them and announce their names over the intercom, and we're really encouraging positive behavior. We also do Spartan of the Month, so the teachers nominate one student in each of their grades, and then we have a monthly assembly where we award these students certificates to acknowledge their positive behavior. Second step is taught in K through 4. So all of our teachers, it's a social emotional learning curriculum where all of our teachers teach the students. That's supported by me, but really led by all of the teachers because I can't get into all of the classrooms. Building Resilient Me, we've introduced this year in the elementary school as well. And that partners with the Sources of Strength program in the middle and high schools. And that is led by peer leaders. So there are leaders in the elementary school that were nominated by their teachers last year. And we meet on a weekly basis with them. And what they do is they design campaigns to reach the school. So we did Trusted Adults last month. And so they're designing weekly campaigns to reach all of the students in the classrooms. And then Sources of Strength is in 6 through 12, and so the middle and high school. It's very similar to Building Resilient Me, except that really is focused on suicide, violence, bullying, and substance abuse prevention. So we just build on that. They build on what we've done in building resiliently, really building resilience in the children, and then try to prevent all of those things in the middle and high schools. So next I'd like to introduce Robert Hornstra, who is our Chief Operating Officer.
Thank you, Heather. Good evening. It's an honor to present to you again tonight. My name is Robert Hornstra. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at STEM. A couple major accomplishments that we did last summer is we built a patio on the north side of the high school. The high school students had no place to go. So we completed a patio over there for external learning and also for them to basically hang out in. One of the other things that we also tied on to that at the last minute and worked out very well is that we also put a patio in front of the middle school entrance. And that is also complete with a new flagpole. STEM school did not have a flagpole up to that point in time. But one of the things that we also talked about the last time that we were here, and that had to do with the master concept plan that we had for the site. And one of the things that was part of that particular piece was a play field. And the play field was conceived through this master plan. It failed in 2017. We went to the Douglas County Commissioners hearing in this last September. It was passed unanimously by the Board of Commissioners from Douglas County. And I want to thank all the numerous families and students and staff members that did show up, expressed your passion and the love for the kids at STEM. And what we intend to do now is, this is our schedule. As you can see by the project schedule, our permit right now is in with the state of Colorado. Went in 2/7 and we're hoping to get it back about the middle of March. I have scheduled a pre-bid conference for contractors tomorrow to basically walk the site and have everybody give us a competitive bid for that. We also hope to kick off construction before school ends so that we can then have it completed for the next school year. There's also a chart over there for you, a poster board, to take a look at it. And there's also a poster board in every one of the lobbies. Thank you so much. And now it's my privilege to introduce Sarah Phelps.
Hi, my name is Sarah Phelps. I'm the Enrichment Coordinator here at STEM. We've had another really awesome year here with our enrichment programs. We've offered 40 programs with over 1,000 registrations all across the 3 grade levels. Some of the highlights, this past summer we offered 8 camps with 150 participants in things like cybersecurity, dance, theater, robotics, camp invention. This past fall, our best robotics team advanced to the regional competition once again. Tomorrow, we have just under 200 middle school and high school students competing at the TSA State Conference. So many of them are over in the labs preparing right now. Our middle school and high school Cyber Patriot teams that started competing in the fall advanced in place this year, and they will be celebrating next month. Our middle school and high school theater group produced Beauty and the Beast and performed for 3 sold-out shows. Our Kids Stage Elementary program produced Mulan in the fall, and then we'll be doing Moana this spring. We had 5 First Lego League teams compete at locals, with 2 of them advancing to the state competition in the fall. We also had 2 Junior First Lego League teams this year for the first time. Our high school DECA program will be competing at the state conference the day after TSA ends, so Sunday. They'll be competing down in Colorado Springs. And several of our students advanced to the Future Business Leaders of America state conference to take place in April. Our Allies and Diversity Club hosted their 4th annual Unity Day this past fall. That was school-wide. Our first robotics team, high school first robotics team, is now in their 6th week of a 6-week build session, and they will compete next month. We also will have continued participation in Club Invention, which will start after spring break, and then we'll lead into our Camp Invention this summer. That partners with the National Inventors Hall of Fame. We also had over 40 participants on our middle school cross-country team, which is pictured there, as well as the continuation of many of our popular art, dance, music, and special interest clubs. I mean, that's what I love about my job, is that on any given day, you walk around and there's a variety of different things. Today we have TSA going on in the high school. You have kids in the craft club in the elementary, kids doing hip hop upstairs. I mean, there's just a lot of fun things going on. So, we also have a variety of summer camps coming up this summer. Those are open to STEM students and students around the community. Camp Invention in June, which is K through 6. We'll have a theater camp for elementary as well as for middle and high school. Several robotics camps in July and more, so keep your eye on the website for that. Now I'd like to introduce Lauren and Kelly to talk about SAC.
Sarah. Yes, if we could get our whole SAC team to come up, that would be great. Hi, I'm Lauren Pickett, the SAC chair.
I'm Kelly Reyna, Vice SAC Chair.
We're here to introduce the SAC team and tell you what SAC is all about.
So everyone wonders what is a SAC, right? It's kind of a mystery. Well, it's parents, it's teachers, it's community, it's you. It's an advisory committee to the director of our school. In Colorado, it's a statutory requirement for every school to have a school accountability committee, a SAC. The purpose of the SAC is to inform, encourage, and provide opportunities for our parents and community members to be involved in the planning of the school's instructional program and quality improvement processes. Educating our children is a partnership between families and educators. The STEM SAC is a great forum for parents to be involved in their children's school. The SAC welcomes all parents and community members to attend the meetings to learn more about the business of educating our students.
The SAC team is a committee made up of parents, teachers, a community member, and our director and representative. First, I'd like to introduce our parent members. Besides Kelly and myself, we have Amy.
Quite an introduction.
Okay. No? How about now? You're good. Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. So we have Amy Winans is our secretary. Winans, sorry, I always do that wrong.
Breaking it again. Can't take it anywhere.
Am I still there? What? You think it's what? Cable? Oh, I'm glad it's not my fault.
Check.
Okay, I'll try this. Kelly? Can you hear me? No? Yes? Okay. The switch says it's on. Hello? All right, I'll talk really loud. We have Tom Wendling as our DAC liaison. Ed Spencer isn't here with us tonight. Anne-Marie Blackburn. Ish Kalra. Aaron Gomez is our PTO member. Our elementary teacher representative is Deborah Marshall. And our secondary teacher representative is Karen Ramon. We're currently looking for a community member to serve on SAC, and Dr. Karen Johnson is our director representative for SAC.
Okay, so what does the SAC do? At the beginning of the year, we actually get to discuss some results of the state testing, so all of the amazing information Dr. Johnson presented to us earlier this evening, we actually dive into some of that information. Is she talking to us?
Tom, did we introduce you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think it's
Wanna
when
make sure we
the,
do that.
I think it's when the mic was doing this thing.
Okay.
So yes, Dr. Johnson presents a lot of school information with state testing and such, so we go over all of that in depth. We provide input regarding the school budget, the Unified Improvement Plan, or the UIP. Staffing needs are addressed as well. We conduct a parent survey. We do the distribution, collection, and data analysis, which then the school uses to make suggested amends to whatever may need to be done. We collaborate with our amazing PTO and the board of directors. And our staff reports to the DAC, which Tom is our DAC representative. He basically brings information from our school to the Douglas County School Board. He goes to the DAC meetings, which then bring the information to the Douglas County School Board. And things such as spending district money, charter applications and renewals, and school improvement plans.
We are currently assembling our SAC committee for the next school year. Nominations and our election will be required to fill each of our open positions. More information on how to nominate yourself or another person will be coming up in the March newsletter. Nominations are going to be accepted until March 31st, and then in April the election will take place. Our next SAC meeting is March the 6th from 6 to 8 in Sink, and we would love to see you there. Thank you.
Next up, our PTO, Susan Montgomery and Kelly Marie Polson.
Hi, thank you all for joining us today. We represent the STEM PTO. Our board is made up of 11 volunteer positions. We are fortunate enough to have some of those here today. If you could stand up for me, please. Thank you. We also have several in our audience that are past board members, if you wouldn't mind standing up as well. Thank you all for your time and dedication. Our mission is to enhance the overall experience for students, staff, families at STEM PTO, or STEM School Highlands Ranch. We do this in partnership with the community, the school, and the parents, which you will hear more about what we do in just a minute. We have so many objectives, but our main four are to promote, to fundraise, to do events, and to grant money back to the school. To be a member of the PTO, all you have to do is be a parent or a guardian or work at the school. It's that simple. Membership is free and all are welcome, and we love all your input as well as the passion that you bring.